Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really personalized exploration based on your source material, looking at some ancient philosophical symbolism.
We're tackling excerpts from the allegory of Baveva, the forest of material existence.
In this text, it's really a guide to the human experience, isn't it? It tries to answer why we always feel a little lost or anxious, even when things are supposedly going well.
Exactly. It compares the entire material world, our modern lives included, to a vast, dense, dangerous forest. And this forest has a name, Havevo. That's our first symbol.
So our mission is to unpack the 32 specific symbols used in this allegory. They're meant to describe basically every part of conditioned life, from our own minds right up to our ultimate destiny.
Right. And if we can map the forest, the idea is maybe we can find the way out.
Let's start with the main character, the merchant. Who is that?
The merchant, that's item 2, is the living entity. It's you, the soul. And this merchant enters the forest not for wisdom, but out of greed.
Greed for what?
For cheap commodities, wood, earth, things for quick material profit. But the problem is, as soon as he starts chasing these little profits, he gets tangled up. He completely forgets how to get back home.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the merchant is lost, and the first threats he faces, they're not external monsters, they're internal.
Yes. The first threat to his, let's call it his spiritual wealth, are the 6 plunderers. That's item 3.
Which are?
Our own 6 senses. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, touch, and the mind itself.
I always thought of the senses as just tools, but the text calls them thieves. Why?
Because they steal our focus. They steal our wealth, our energy, our money, our time, and they divert it toward, pointless sense gratification.
So like chasing the newest phone to see a better screen or
Yeah.
expensive food just for a momentary taste.
Precisely. That drive plunders the resources we could be using for something lasting. And leading this whole operation is the bad leader.
Item 4, our intelligence.
Our diverted intelligence. It's the wisdom that's gone astray. Our mind knows what's right, but this bad leader chooses the quick pleasure over long-term clarity. It puts the senses first.
That's already a lot to handle internally, but then the allegory gets really personal. It talks about jackals and tigers.
Yes, item 5. And it says, these are our family members.
Wow. That's incredibly harsh comparing loved ones to predators.
It is. It's a very strong simile. The point isn't that they're malicious, but that even loving material relationships are based on self-interest. They drain the merchant's resources.
How so?
Well, the text gives this stark example of the wife as a tigress who sucks the husband's vitality day and night through, demands, expenditures, and physical pleasure. It's about the drain, not the intent.
An unconscious draining of the energy you'd need to escape the forest.
Exactly. And the root of all this, what keeps the merchant stuck, are the herbs and creepers.
Material desires, item 6.
Yes, they cling to the heart like weeds and just stifle any real freedom. Unless you change what you desire, they just keep growing back.
Okay, so we've covered the internal mind and close relationships. Part 2 seems to be about the search for external comfort, for shelter. He finds a mountain cave.
Item 7, the happy home, the illusion of a permanent safe sanctuary.
An illusion that gets shattered pretty quickly by the mosquitoes and serpents.
Item 8, the daily enemies that invade our peace. The mosquito is that constant, irritating stress, and the serpent is that sudden, sharp pain. They're a reminder that no shelter is truly safe.
And while he's busy swatting mosquitoes, there's a quieter loss happening. The rats, beasts, and vultures.
Right. Item 9, these are just external thieves. A bad investment, a sudden bull, a government fine. Your wealth just disappears and you're left depleted.
But the biggest illusion of all is the home itself, isn't it? The Gandharva Pura.
Item 10, the house in the sky. It's a phantasmagoria. It's like a mirage in the desert that we, the animalistic person, chase after.
So our obsession with status, our perfect Instagram life, our house, the allegory says that's all just a cloud castle.
It is. It's completely temporary. And speaking of illusions that glitter, the next trap is the will-o'-the-wisp.
That's wealth, item 11, the attraction to gold.
Yes. And the text uses this shocking language calling gold yellow stool to show how impure its value really is.
That is visceral. Why so cynical about wealth?
Because of what the chase for it leads to. The text connects it directly to the 4 principles of sin: illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Chasing that light leads you off the path and into the swamp.
And then come the really powerful, overwhelming attachments. First, the whirlwind.
Item 12. That's the attraction for a spouse. It's described as this all-consuming embrace that can bind the merchant completely to the home, to the material.
And that passion culminates in the dust storm.
Item 13, yes. This is the blinding passion during sex, where all rules and reason get swept away. It's a temporary madness that obscures the truth and, leads to future consequences.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The allegory dives into how how society itself becomes a trap, starting with the unseen observers, the demigods.
Item 14. They're like the Cosmic Oversight Committee. They control the cosmic order, and they witness everything, especially when the merchant disobeys religious rules about sex life. The point is, nothing goes unseen.
And then on a more human level, there's social critique. The indirect kind is the cricket's noises.
Item 15. Those are the harsh words from enemies, but spoken indirectly. It can also mean things like the pain of forcible taxation. It's a constant, irritating background noise of suffering.
And the direct kind is the owl.
The owl, item 16, is the direct insulter, the person who mocks you to your face. Both are meant to break your spirit.
Then you have the danger of bad company, which the text calls impious trees.
Item 17. They look solid, but their core is rotten. Their influence is like a poison you have to avoid.
And what about false spiritual guidance?
That's the waterless river. Item 18. This represents atheists, pseudo-yogis, people who offer cheap blessings but give no real relief. It's like jumping into a dry riverbed to quench your thirst. You just end up pert and still thirsty.
The allegory even takes on family life itself, calling it a blazing forest fire.
It does. Item 19. It's full of conflict and lamentation. Everyone wants happiness at home, but the nature of material existence means the fire of conflict just keeps burning.
Okay, now for maybe the most controversial one, the meat-eating demons, or Raxus.
Item 20. And these are government officials.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a critique of corruption. It says they use their power to forcibly take the merchant's wealth through taxes and fines, leaving him so disheartened it's as though he loses his life.
It's a very skeptical view of state power.
Deeply skeptical.
Yeah.
And then you have the weight of just social tradition. Ritualistic duties are item 21.
Described as a tall hill to cross.
A huge hill. Think of arranging costly marriage ceremonies, things you have to do to maintain social standing. It becomes a massive distress.
Yeah, and while you're climbing that hill, you're dealing with the pricking thorns.
Item 22. The unavoidable pains and hardships of just trying to do your duty in a material world. The path is never smooth.
So we've covered the internal world, the external world, and society. Now we get to the final entrapments leading up to, well, the end. And it starts with something so simple. Sleep.
Item 23. Sleep is described as a python. It coils around you, devours your time, and keeps you in the darkness of ignorance. If you spend too much of your life sleeping, you forget your purpose.
The text then targets a very specific desire, the desire for another's wife.
Item 24. This is the beehive analogy. It's buzzing with illicit longing. You might get a moment of stolen honey, but the text is clear. It leads directly to hellish conditions in jail.
And who are the earthly guards against that?
The chastisement by guardians. Item 25. The allegory compares them to flies, the husband, the in-laws, who guard the women and punish illicit behavior.
Let's go back to the core attachment in the home, the creeper.
Item 26.
Yeah.
This is one's wife again, but this time symbolizing that deep, caring embrace that makes the merchant so attached to his home and family that he forgets everything else. He forgets his actual purpose.
But time is running out, and eventually the lion appears.
The lion is imminent death. Item 27. Its roar is paralyzing fear. And this lion is actually the Harikakra, the wheel of time of the Supreme Lord. It's unstoppable. It's always revolving, spending the life of every single living thing.
And in that moment of tear panic, the merchant often runs for help to the wrong places, to the herons, crows, and vultures.
Exactly. Item 28. These are the false saviors, the pseudo-gurus, the fake incarnations, the people who promise a quick fix. They can't save anyone from the lion's attack.
So who are the true guides?
The swans. Item 29. The swans are the perfect brahmanas, the genuinely wise individuals. They have the amazing ability to separate the milk of truth from the water of illusion. They're the only reliable guides.
And the allegory contrasts them with the monkeys.
Item 30. The monkeys are people completely absorbed in mundane life-eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They just jump from one temporary pleasure to the next.
And their homes are the trees of the monkeys.
Yes. Item 31. Households where the only goal is improving temporary bodily comfort, where everyone just forgets that their short lifespan is almost over.
Which brings us to the final, largest threat, the elephant.
Item 32. This is it. Ultimate, unavoidable death. The final notice. It forcibly leads the soul into a dark, unknown mountain cave. No matter how successful the merchant was, he He can't escape the elephant.
So after mapping all 32 symbols, what does it all mean? What's the takeaway?
It means the struggle is constant. The message is that the material world is decalium, it's full of miseries, and it's also ashervatam, which means temporary. The struggle is insurmountable by material means alone.
So you can't win the game inside the forest.
You can't. You're just being perpetually punished with these brief moments of fake comfort. The only solution is to get out.
And how does the merchant do that?
Through spiritual shelter. The text says, to follow the path of the bumblebees, who are always at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Vitnu or King, and to take shelter of a true spiritual master, a guru. That association is the only way out.
The sources bring up Maharja Pharata as the prime example of this. He gave up everything, a kingdom, a family.
He did, and he could do it because the attraction to the Supreme, known as Uttamashloka, or one with the best reputation, was so much stronger than any material attachment. Everything else felt like, well, giving up stool. His story shows that the path of the swans is the only one that truly leads out of the forest.
It's a profound and frankly a pretty bracing map of the human condition. So here's a final thought for you to take with you. If the material world with all its comforts is ultimately compared to yellow stool and a blazing forest fire, what single material pursuit are you chasing right now? That one cheap commodity that, according to this allegory, might actually be blocking your own path to lasting peace. We'll leave you with that.